Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about 6 things to avoid when changing lanes. In this video, I'll be going over 6 simple things that you should absolutely avoid while you're changing lanes. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the content of the video. The first thing that you should avoid is slowing down. When you're changing lanes, if you want to do it properly and you want to do it safely, you should try to maintain your speed from one lane to the next as much as possible. So that means that if you're driving 50 kilometers an hour in the right lane and you want to switch to the left lane, you should try to only switch when you can maintain that speed of 50 kilometers an hour throughout the switch. And also when you can continue driving 50 kilometers an hour, for instance, when you switch to the next lane that you're switching into. So with that being said, you don't want to slow down while you switch lanes, before you switch lanes, after you switch lanes, unless you absolutely have to. But you should try to only switch lanes when you can maintain the same speed seamlessly from one lane to the next. If you slow down before you change lanes or after or during, you can cause a disruption in the flow of traffic, and you can even cause a near accident because people don't expect you to slow down as you're changing lanes. All right. The second thing that you should avoid doing when changing lanes is speeding up. Now, the same rule follows as the first one that I talked about. You should try to only change lanes when you can maintain your speed practically seamlessly from one lane to the next. So you shouldn't be speeding up while you change lanes. Now, there is an instance where you would be accelerating a little bit after you finished changing lanes, and that is if you're passing a car. So if you're passing a car, the goal is to change lanes, accelerate past the car, and then switch back to the original lane. Now, with that being said, in that situation and scenario, you're fully changing lanes first, and you're only accelerating or speeding up once you are completely in the new lane and you're ready to go and you've scanned the road ahead of you, in front of you. So with that being said, you don't want to speed up while you change lanes. And this is especially even more important and more crucial because while you're changing lanes, you're focusing on changing lanes, not focusing so much on the road ahead of you, and also your vision is limited. For the most part, if there's a car in front of you and you change lanes, your vision is slightly limited. So with that being said, that's why it's important to make sure you do not speed up or slow down. The third thing that you should avoid doing when changing lanes is moving too aggressively. I've seen this happen often. You know, someone is driving, they want to change lanes and they want to feel like a race car driver, so they just swerve from one lane to the next. That is very dangerous for you and for the cars around you. Now, there are a few reasons why you shouldn't move too aggressively, but first and foremost, it can be quite dangerous. And with that being said, it can be quite dangerous because you might have signaled, checked your mirrors and checked your blind spot, and you might have just missed the car that's beside you. And if you're moving into the lane at a nice pace, that car can honk their horn, they can move out of the way, they have enough time to react. If you're changing lanes aggressively from one lane to the next, you're probably going to hit that car and cause an accident. Now, with that being said, you don't want to move too aggressively because it can be quite dangerous. Number 4, I was going to put number 2, but we're actually on number 4. The next one is moving too gradually. Just like I don't want you to move too aggressively when you're changing lanes, I also don't want you to move too gradually when you're changing lanes. And it's important because if you do it too gradually, people around you will be wondering, when are you actually going to change lanes? They're going to be waiting for you to change lanes. They might slow down. They might wonder what's going on, and you might cause a disruption in the flow of traffic, which can cause a huge mess. It can cause near accidents. It can cause other drivers to get angry, and it's just not a good idea. So don't move too gradually. Number 5, what you don't want to do is be indecisive. I've seen this happen many times. People put their signal on and they're ready to change lanes, but then they're not sure if it's clear, so then they swerve back to the original lane, and then their signal is still on, so then they try and switch lanes again, and then they go back, and then everyone doesn't know if they're actually going to change lanes. So just be assertive. Check all of your safety precautions and make sure that you are absolutely assertive, most definitely. Number 6, the sixth thing that you should avoid doing is constantly switching lanes. Now, everyone's seen a driver on the road that constantly switches lanes. They're in the right lane, they switch to the left, back to the right, to the left, back to the right, thinking that they're going to save lots of time on their commute, when in reality, it really doesn't save any time at all. So with that being said, don't constantly switch lanes. Make sure that you are only switching lanes when you have to or when it makes sense to do so. Put it this way, whenever you switch lanes, you are putting yourself in a slightly less safe situation than when you're simply driving in a single lane. So if you switch lanes only when it's necessary, then you're limiting that unsafeness to the minimum number of times possible. But if you're switching lanes like 50 times within every commute unnecessarily, you are creating all of these unnecessary, unsafe situations that you could have avoided in the first place. But that's basically it. In this video, I've gone over 6 things to avoid when changing lanes. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. What are some other things to avoid when changing lanes? Let me know down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.